to the My Own Hair podcast. The audio might be a little bit wild via video because my camera is screwed up from dropping my phone several times. Recently, I was driving back from the store and I hit a hump and my phone almost flew into basically like a cabin or an abyss. I don't know. The case did. Luckily, I was able to retrieve my SIM card from that case, but I had to get rid of that case because it was a biohazard after it some kind of nasty ass sewage water. But when I get back to the States, I'll buy a new phone because I don't feel like buying one out here. So bear with me. Video wise, audio will still be cool. How y'all doing? What am I talking to? But just, fill you in on me a little bit right now. My birthday just passed last week. Yeah, because last week, yeah. These days fly by so fast in Thailand. It feels like it's 3 days to every 1 day out here, honestly. Like, in comparison to being back home to here, it feels like for every 1 day that goes by here is like 3 days in America. I don't know. If you feel the same way, if you're from the States or from another part of the world, you tell me. Nevertheless, my birthday was March 14th. I'm, 1 year older, 1 year better, I guess. But it was wild. As soon as my birthday hit, I got this mean pain in my shoulders. It feels like there's swelling in my back. I don't know from what, but honestly, no, I do know from what. It might be some residual effects of that car accident I was in a few years ago. Where like sometimes my upper back could just swell up. There's no Robitussin and nothing like that to fix it. Honestly, I need a chiropractor. Like I just need to put pressure on my back because even right now, sitting up hurts. Like I feel a shooting pain from my rhomboid right down to my elbow, and it might be something pressing up against the disc. So it needs to get released. And now I'm just just messed up right now. Yeah, but on a positive note is, like I said before in the last episode, I have a soundboard now that I get to play with. Pause. So yeah, that's an up thing, and I think I'm supposed to be fighting this week or next week or I don't know, man. I just wake up and this pain is kind of excruciating, but nevertheless, show must go on. What show you may ask, and I'd say the show of life. I've come to the conclusion that in life you have three options. One is to accept what's happening. The other is to do something about what's happening. And the third one is, so I don't get this stripped off of any kind of media, self-deletion. Like, you can just end it. So what I'm saying is you have the choice of allowing whatever's holding you back to keep you where you're at, doing something about what's bothering you, holding you back, whatever your circumstances are, and changing it. Or the third one is just giving up completely and just stopping everything, like just ending the movie. And I think that's the beauty of life in and of itself, that you have the opportunity to do whatever you need to change things. And, this pain is real. But, again, show must go on, and if I could, I would just say, stop it. Get some help. Yeah, I should, but there's no chiropractor open. I think the only one I saw was, I don't even know where that direction would lead me, but it was like a 12-hour ride, so clearly that's not anywhere near where I am right now. What I do know is that you do have that opportunity to do something, and I think that with understanding that, you also got to understand the privilege in having the opportunity to do something about your circumstances. And when I say privilege, I mean being able to realize that you have the opportunity to do something and actually being able to do something about it. so many people I feel um, are on like they fall into a few categories with that understanding where you'll have people who allow themselves to be caught up in whatever circumstances they're in and kind of let that dictate the rest of their life, and that's how they move. You have other people who will elevate from said circumstances and never look back and just do what they got to do for them and whoever's around them immediately. And you have another set of people who will elevate from said circumstances or know people who are in such circumstances, feel like they should give back, but in a way where it's almost like you look at the people that are going through what you've went through or what you understand as like a charity case, or like y'all need to do better, as if you don't realize that even making it out of the circumstances that you're in is like you had to go through you have to leap some tremendous um, obstacles to get to where you are, and you don't give anybody any kind of grace. You just are harsh about it. It's the bootstrap mentality where you believe that because you made it out, everybody should. That's not fair, and that's not even logical because everybody has different circumstances. Everybody got different things they got going on, and I really need to stop it because my back is killing me. But I think we lose out on being able to be a community and work together when we think that because we are in a different position to be able to do something, that because we're there, everybody should be there too. And if they aren't, shame on them, but I'll still help them anyway. That's not genuine, and that's not generous, and it's nasty in the grand scheme of things. In some ways, it can be a good thing um, because again, you're doing something to help. But like the underlying reasoning is almost like you look at who you're helping as like they're the problem in and of itself. Kind of like I've been reading this book called "Killing the Black Body." It has to do with a lot, but it's like talking about like the eugenics movement. It's talking about women's bodily autonomy. It's talking about women's health. It's talking about family building and managing families and stuff of that nature. And one of the things it brings up is the Negro Project, which happened in like the, excuse me, I want to say it happened after, like during World War II era. Like when Margaret Sanger had started up Planned Parenthood. And like the Negro Project was a part of helping family planning for black families because the ideology behind family planning for Africans in America was very complicated. Because when you have the enslavement of Africans and the Africans that were left over from the diaspora and whatnot, and which in turn became black people as we call ourselves because you don't know where you're from, you have people who are very wary about like medical attention, medical health, outside entities coming into the community. Reason being because like during the enslavement of African people, there was a lot of barbaric things that were going on. And subsequently after that as well. So with the Negro Project was one of those things that helping black families with family planning because there was a lot of black mothers who wasn't really into having as many children as possible. When a few things were combating that, there was a thought in the black communities that the way that we stop white supremacy is by having more children. And you can't like bend yourself out of a problem, but that's what they thought. And a lot of that logic came to do with the fact that during the enslavement of African people, when an African woman was pregnant, that baby wasn't her baby, that was property, like literal property. It was written off on taxes, like literally. So like the idea of family planning was a very weird one. There's a lot of nuance to it. So like with the language for the Negro Project, some of it was a little off, and some of that language was repeated by Margaret Sanger, but it was said by a prominent black leader in W.E.B. Du Bois because he believed in like the Talented Tenth and stuff of that nature. And he was a great black leader. He was Pan-African in his later years, super into liberation of black folk and all this other stuff, but he had some ideas and stuff like that that was kind of like, yeah, we need to get you, come on, whatever, let's go. Kind of mentality again, where it's like, I'm getting you out of this situation because I feel like you should be getting out of the situation, but whatever, like type situation where, but on his side of it is like a beautiful thing, but on like a beautiful thing, like, but also kind of messed up in certain ways that he thought about things. But back to the point of people feeling as though because they're in a better situation than others that they are the gatekeepers for change, or that if or that looking at the problems is a part of the problem. Like, I am all for definitely calling out people who just want to wallow in what the past and not do anything. But you need to be aware of what happened before so that you can plan accordingly. That's all it's about. You should know what's going on. You should not act like because you know about the problems of the past that that's actually hindering you, because in actuality all of those problems that happened in the past are still happening now. It hasn't changed much, but that all ties into the fact of you understanding, oh god. Yeah, because this is really killing me. But I say all that to say, like, we as a people, and I'm not just talking about Africans in America, I'm just talking about people period, need to realize that no one's better than anybody else, and no one knows anything. You just gather information because everything that you learn, stuff changes, science changes all the time. Things change. History kind of stays the same if it's not screwed with or if they aren't lying, but stuff changes. So no one knows anything. You are just gathering knowledge as you go, and that's the best that you can do. If you relieve yourself of the notion and of the your ego in regards to feeling like you are this or you are that because you know this, you aren't anything, or because you experience this, you aren't anything but a pompous jackass. So with all of that being said, I'm probably gonna stop it. Get some help. Yeah, because my damn back is killing me and I need to do something about it. But yeah, that was another installment of the I Cut My Own Hair podcast. I'll be recording some more episodes and then hopefully having on, inshallah, having on some guests during Ramadan. Maybe like two for sure. But yeah, thank you.